Yo, what is good, YouTube? Welcome back to another JC2K video. In today's video, we're doing episode number 30 of I Build Your Teams, a series where I build my viewers' teams with the best teams possible for my team unlimited and/or competitive play based on how much MT they have and what their squads are currently looking like. I am glad to be bringing this series back. It's honestly been a while. Haven't been uploading it because of the gambling only content, but it seems like a lot of people wanted this series back, so bringing it back, and I'm going to try my best to be diverse with my suggestions. It does make it a lot harder to be diverse with suggestions when the gambling only content is like this, because I can't really recommend any of those cards, considering there's no guaranteed way to go get them. So it makes your options a lot smaller for upgrading your team in general. But we're going to do the best we can. Before we hop into it, if you haven't already, make sure you hit the subscribe button. Help me push towards the 25,000 subscriber mark on the channel. I upload every single day. Would really appreciate it if y'all do subscribe. Without further ado, let's hop right into it. So first team today comes in from Ryan. He says he's nobody spent except for some throw passes. Got lucky with D-Rose and an exchange pack. Excuse me. This is not a bad team at all. This is a very, very solid, especially like he said, no money spent team. He's got D-Rose and D-Wade as two really good point guards. I would probably consider starting Marc Gasol over Wemby and bring Wemby off the bench. You got Wiggs at the 2, Tyrus at the 3. I guess off the bench you have Marc Gasol at the 4 and Rafe at the 5. I'm not even totally sure what your bench is looking like right now. I feel like, here's the thing, 2 million MT is a lot of MT. This is almost one of those teams where I would recommend something that I generally wouldn't recommend for most teams. Like, I would not say that locking in one of these sets with those of the pink diamonds is actually the worst idea in the world. Like, locking in this week's set may not be the worst decision in the world when you have this much MT, because of the potential of adding some new cards to your team who really would help, like Larry Bird or Jimmy Butler, or obviously Kristaps Porzingis. But really, any of the opals, or sorry, the Dark Matters would be really good. The one problem is, what if you get Derrick Rose? You already have unsellable D Rose. Then you just basically threw away 500 KMT or 400 KMT or whatever it is. Excuse me. So for me personally, it puts you in a tough spot a little bit. And I don't know if there's anything you can do directly right now to upgrade a team like this. This is a great example of what I'm talking about, and I thought it'd be good to talk about it. There's a lot of teams where it's tough to upgrade because of what you already have cooking for you. There's no cards directly in the player market that I really feel like you can buy that are going to make a huge upgrade. Like maybe a Pink Diamond KP would be an upgrade. I would obviously recommend going out and grinding for SGA, grinding for Glenn Rice if you're willing to put the time into him as well. Cards like that obviously do salary cap, so you can get Dikembe at the end of the season. Like, the seasonal rewards are really good this season, so definitely want to be targeting those cards. Second team today comes in from Luke. He says he needs help with his rotations. Doesn't have a bench power forward in his opinion. 300 KMT currently. So, okay, we have an interesting team. I can fix his power forward issue though. Lonzo Harden, Jimmy, Nick Young, Larry Bird, Ferry, Jokic, Wilt, Tyson, and Sabonis. Okay, let's fix the power forward position. Super easy. All you got to do is start Ferry at the 4, bring Jokic off the bench, have Jokic at the 4, Tyson at the 5, Sean Marion back up 3, or Kemp back up 3. Really doesn't matter, whichever you prefer between those two. And then you have Lonzo and Harden, Jimmy, and I would probably go Kobe over Nick Young personally still, but that's just because I'm biased about Kobe. You might prefer Nick Young. I almost think if you're running Nick Young, you want more of a defensive point guard, though, so that might be a spot where you put in a guy like Caruso to run that offense as well if you need it. And then your small forwards are Bird and either Kemp or Sean. Your power forwards are Ferry and Jokic, and your centers are Wilt and Tyson. That's a better team, in my opinion, 10-man-wise. I feel like it fixes your rotations a little bit, and I think that's what I'd be looking at personally with your squad. Mambi says he has, he has 1.2 mil, so he's got a lot of coins. He's got SGA. This is a good team as well, but this is another one of those teams where I would start Ron Artest first and foremost. That's kind of a no-brainer to me. As good as Kobe is, Ron Artest is damn near the best shooting guard in the game, and that even includes 100 overalls and Dark Matters and everything. That's how good that card is. I would be starting him. The one card who I think might be worth going out and getting with this type of team is maybe the Pro Pass is worth getting, because I feel like Paulo Banchero would be a good upgrade here. The Pro Pass is the most valuable or most justifiable, I think, purchase in this game, or the best value for sure. You don't have Gasol in your lineup. I'm assuming that, I don't know, I'm assuming you have him, obviously, because of locker code. I think he's better than both Opal Pau, Opal Sabonis, and maybe even Opal Jokic. I think Marc Gasol is better than all those guys, so for me personally, I'd probably be starting him at center and bringing Pau off the bench. as a whole, I like your team, and it would be nice if you had one of the better gambling bigs. You know what I mean? I'm sure you agree. But like, if you had a D-Rob or a Hakeem, I think that would be a slightly better card to have than somebody like Pau. But at the same time, this is not a bad squad at all. Definitely make sure you start Ron Artest. Backup point guard, I think Lucas size-wise makes more sense, but D-Rose is the better card on paper, and he's got better animations, better stats and badges. I don't know. That one's tough there. Mystic says he's no money spent. He's got 200K. All unsellable except for MJ and Kemp. He pulled MJ. Imagine being no money spent and pulling 100 overall. That's crazy. And the sad part is the 100 overall he pulled is MJ is not even that good. But I may not be that high on MJ. I still think he 100% plays, obviously, on your team. Of course he does. He's 100 overall. But this team needs some adjustments. Number one, D-Wade needs to move to that backup point guard position. Pink Diamond Magic needs to be taken entirely out of the lineup. If you have to, start Gerald Wallace at the 2 and then bring Braun or Beasley off the bench as your backup 4, and that automatically is going to help. Also, make sure you sub in that that Marcus Gasol. Put him in over Jokic as your backup center, in my opinion. And then you'll have something like MJ, Gerald Wallace, Sean Kemp, Chet, Hakeem, and then off the bench you got Wade, Pippen, Beasley or Braun, Moses, and Marcus Gasol. To me, that's a better lineup, and I think that is how I would go about transforming your team. 2 more squads today. Max is nobody spent. Says he's debating whether or not to get the Pro Pass. My thing is about the Pro Pass. I think Paulo is better than Lamar Odom personally, although I think you could definitely make the argument for Odom. Tyrese Thomas kind of in that same boat. Like, all 3 of those guys are very similar level as a card. I would probably say that bringing Shane Battier off the bench and starting Kobe makes more sense to me, just because I think size-wise, Battier and his defensive ability, his versatility as 6'8" shooting guard, and with half movable enforcer and everything, putting him at your backup 2 next to Reeves makes more sense defensively, whereas Cade provides a little more size offensively. That might make a little more sense for me in that aspect. I do like this team. With 400K, again, there's not really anybody you can go by. Like, if you really need size, a Pink Diamond KP is an option, but you have good enough bigs, especially with Moses, Jokic, and Gasol, and I think your team's fine. This is one of those teams where it's like, maybe go get the Pro Pass, yeah, but I mean, you got Cade. That's a great card. Obviously, start working towards SGA, because he will be a big upgrade, obviously. And then this final team is from Shamiya Clark. 500K MT, no money spent. This is not a very good team, but that's okay. We can transform this team, I think, pretty easily, and at the very minimum, help it out. So, he's got Devin Booker. Excuse me. We're going to throw him as the backup point guard just to throw him out there. I think Caruso's better than Devin Booker, so for now we're going to throw Caruso as your starter. You do have Caruso as your backup. Shooting guard position, Wiggins is the best shooting guard you have pretty easily. Jaylen Brown off the bench next to Booker, I guess, will work for the time being. Don't need to waste those cards, and neither of them are terrible. You don't really have any good small forwards at all. Anthony Davis isn't bad, but he's the only one of your bigs that I actually kind of like. Although I guess if we're going to use Embiid, we might as well. I guess we could save a spot by using this Pink Diamond Embiid here as well. So, you got something like this with the cards that you already have, which means you need to fill a couple of small forward spots, and you need to fill a couple of big man spots. Small forward spots, I think, can be filled with Tyrese Thomas and Rui Hachimura. Big man spots, I think, relatively easily. Dino Raja is one, and then again, that locker code from Marc Gasol is another upgrade. Right there, this will give you a much, much better lineup. The team that I have assembled right here, I think is going to give you a ton more success than this lineup does. Pretty simple, and honestly, like, you're spending a chunk, no doubt. All you have to gotta buy 3 pink diamonds, Rui, Tyrese, and Dino, but you're not spending that much. You still save most of your MT. Your team is much, much better. You just have a much better base squad to work with, and can just keep on working on making your more MT. But having a better team than something like this will just result in much easier success and much more success if you're able to transfer your team into something along these lines. So, with that being said, that is the final team of the video, so that's gonna do it. I hope y'all did enjoy. If you did, make sure you hit that like button, leave a comment, and subscribe. I'll be back with more 2K content very, very soon, and I appreciate y'all. Peace.